Now, let's transition to some weirdness that normally we don't talk about leaks on this show just because we don't want to talk about stuff like perpetuate news that clearly was not meant to be revealed by the official studios. Mm-hmm. However, this was actually officially revealed not just by the toy makers, but by Marvel themselves has released these images. So that's why we're going to talk about these first looks at the toys and the merchandise for Spider-Man No Way Home, which kind of hint at multiple suits, which I saw some people complaining that they're just like, how are we getting toy merch before we get a trailer? I'm going, we always get leaked merch before the trailer. Y'all, do you not remember a certain movie called Godzilla vs. Kong and a certain Mecha Godzilla toy that leaked almost like what I believe was like a full calendar year before the movie even came out? Or the G.I. Joe toys leaking, or I feel like there were some Phantom Menace leaks that came out before that came out, with that spoiled Qui-Gon's death. Leaks happen all the time, but this isn't a leak. Like, it leaked one day, but then Marvel themselves officially released it, and I figured within the next day or two that they released a trailer. They still have not. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back next week and we're talking about the trailer, because Black Widow will have come out, and I wouldn't be surprised if the trailer's attached to that. But there's still some odd stuff to be gleaned from this. So let me pull up next to me here the Funko Pop, like one of the top ones that they're talking about here, with Spider-Man with what they're going to call the integrated suit, which looks suspiciously like the Iron Spider suit, except this time, instead of metal, it looks like he's casting Doctor Strange spells, to which I'm just going, this raises so many questions here for me. Before I deep dive into this, Josh, you see all these like weird figures that have officially been released now. What stands out to you the most of all these different suits, questions you have, etc.?
I don't understand. While it's not a leak, I don't understand why this would come out before a trailer, I think, is the thing I'm most confused about, because I think these suits would make sense in context.
Yeah. So my thing...
I'm sorry, my computer's doing something weird.
Oh, no, I can still hear you, so you're still good.
Okay. No, yeah, it's like, it's just, I don't get it. I don't understand why Doctor Strange needs to be a part of this, unless you're really showing your hand
we know he's going to be in the movie.
Thing.
We know he's going to be in the movie.
Oh, I hear you, but at the same time, it's like, but I feel like Loki has done a better job at keeping its hand close to its chest as far as what cards it's going to play than this movie has. Now, we could be all wrong going up into this film, once the trailer drops, but it feels like it just feels like they're trying really hard to pretend like we don't know what the movie's about. And to me, releasing these Funko Pops beforehand, three different suits, he's going to have multiple suits in one. Get out of here.
I mean, he's always had multiple suits, but these raise more questions to me than answers. They're just like, why does it look like Spider-Man's got wizard powers in this suit? Why does it look like the Iron Spider? I thought we were done with the Iron Spider. I don't want the Iron Spider to come back. What's wrong with red and blue? It's not that complicated. Why do we always gotta overdo the stupid spider suit? Like, come on. The Homecoming suit was perfect. Just take out the black stripes and it's the perfect Spider-Man suit. But, like, we've got the weird, like, wizard Spider-Man suit. We got this weird, like, black and gold Spider-Man suit. The thing is, when I first saw these, I was just like, oh, these might not be legit, because a lot of times when toys post things, they are superfluous. They're not actually in the movie. They're just made up to sell more toys. Like, I remember when Batman vs. Superman was coming out, there's like a Batman in like bright blue or bright green, and they're like with his like ion blaster. That's always the case with toys. That's not usually the case with Funko. Lego has been known to sell fake sets. There's still, to this day, I remember they had a Lego set between Iron Man fighting the Mandarin for Iron Man 3, like the actual bearded Mandarin. Obviously, we know that didn't happen. Lego has been known to make false sets. Action figures have been known to make figures of things that aren't actually in the movie, but different variants, for lack of a better term. Funko, not so much, especially when the branding is right on top of it for the movie that it's attached to. So I'm thinking these are legit, and it raises more questions than answers.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have all these different suits? Clearly, this is a Christmas movie. One, because we saw from set photos that there's snow on the ground, but Doctor Strange now is shoveling, which actually that's the least of my concerns here. I think that's actually kind of funny that he still will like manually shovel Bleecker Street. Also, just we quote unquote know what the story is, but I'm getting more and more confused because like we keep hearing all these casting things, but we've never seen anybody on set. There's no set photos of anybody. Like, I'm getting very worried at this point that there's a reason we haven't seen the trailers or haven't heard about the plot. This is going to sound blasphemy to say this, and this could all change as soon as we see the trailer. But to me, I'm getting increasingly worried that this movie hasn't been decided yet, and they're figuring it out in the editing room. And that's why we're hearing so many conflicting reports about what the movie is. Like, either Marvel has this thing locked down tight and we haven't heard anything, or there's a reason we haven't heard anything is because they're trying to figure this out too, which is not the case normally for Marvel. Yeah. But it's not unheard of for Sony. That's worst case scenario for me. I'll admit that. But I am getting worried.
I think the other thing I'm trying to take into account is I do wonder if there's some details at the end of Loki that will kind of not spoil, but kind of lead into, because it seems...
I don't know.
That's what I'm hoping. That's why they're waiting. Because, I mean, at this point, we've got, what, 3 weeks left?
2.
Of Loki?
We've got, when this episode goes, there will be a new episode of Loki, and then there'll be next week's. It's the finale.
So, I mean, that's not... I don't feel like that's out of the question. But unless they drop it next week. Drop the trailer next week.
For a counterpoint, though, we thought the exact same thing about when WandaVision came out of maybe they're holding off on any Spider-Man stuff because it's tied into WandaVision. Maybe Mephisto's behind it all, which thanks, WandaVision, for setting so much stuff up and delivering on none of it. But I know Josh and I will have that. We've had that argument plenty of times before. I am starting to get worried about this, and I know I'm probably just overreacting on this, but I do think it is kind of bizarre how little we've heard about this. Like, not even an official poster or anything. Like, you can have a poster that just says Spider-Man No Way Home, like just in a regular poster dimension. But the fact that we don't even have that yet, like, I don't know. It just seems suspicious. Like, we have now 2 Shang-Chi trailers and an Eternals trailer. Granted, both of those are coming out before, but not by much. Like, I don't know. Do you think I'm wrong for worrying so much, or do you kind of think something's up too, Josh?
I'm going to try to be as positive as I can in this situation, I think. Right now, my hope is, it's going to sound so like PR, they're taking forever because they want to take their time and give us the best possible product. You know, I know, I see your face.
And G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra was delayed 9 months to ensure the best possible quality and not, to add more Channing Tatum scenes after he died.
Yeah, anyway. It just, I don't know, man. I'm trying to be positive about this, and I really hope that as cool as it would be to have Tobey Maguire...
Josh is breaking up a little bit.
Andrew Garfield back.
There we go.
The spider suits. I just hope that we're not going that direction yet,
Or we don't get Ralph Bonered again.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want a WandaVision 2.0 again. But
anyway.